welcome to Power Up with NSA North Texas, a show about finding, hearing, and maximizing valuable insights from some of the world's leading business and lifestyle speakers. Each week, international keynote speaker and National Speakers Association North Texas Chapter President Betty Coffey sits down with some of the most exciting speakers this side of the globe to hear from these subject matter experts what's making a difference in business today and learn all there is to know about people, profits, and productivity in business from some of the world's best motivators. This is Power Up with NSA North Texas. And now, here's your host, Betty Coffey.
Hi, I'm your host, Betty Coffey, president of NSA North Texas, and I want to welcome you to our NSA North Texas show. The NSA, National Speakers Association, is the premier organization for professional speakers around the world. Our members reach audiences as consultants, authors, coaches, trainers, educators, humorists, motivators, and we do it every day. This show is going to give you the opportunity to understand some of the issues and problems that businesses are having today. And you're going to hear about the solutions from our own subject matter experts here in NSA North Texas. I am so excited today to have Lauren Midgley as my guest. Hey, Lauren.
Hey, Betty. Good to see you.
Lauren is with NSA North Texas, and she is a powerhouse. Lauren is a business strategist and author, a professional speaker on productivity and profitability. She works with business owners that want to identify what they want for themselves and their business, that's a good balance, to have less stress and to realize optimal results. Her goal for every business owner out there is to enjoy their business and to eliminate the chaos, the terrible, terrible chaos. So, our topic today is mastering time and money for your business. As a business owner, you are in charge of how you use your time and resources to serve you and your business. Done well, then you're going to be successful and have everything that you want. Done not so well, there's going to be chaos. There's going to be stress and a life knowing that you could have been a lot better. So, Lauren, we are so happy you're here today to help us out. Thank you.
I'm glad to be here.
So I've got a question. What prompted you to start your own consulting business after 24 years in corporate America working for 2 Fortune 500 companies? What got you started about this? What got you passionate about it?
Well, I think, Betty, deep inside, I was an entrepreneur at heart, and I was living vicariously through one of the companies. 17 years with one of the companies out of the 24 was a franchise company. And so I worked with those franchise owners to help them build their business to be profitable and productive. But, you know, with any business, no business is perfect. There's always chaos that comes in. There's the human factor, all of that really, really does challenge the business owner. And so as I was working with those business owners, those franchisees, it was like, you know, there's got to be a better way. So how can we help them be better leaders, be more focused on their time, and ultimately, you know, run a better business? So one of my key questions that I would ask them was, well, okay, well, if you define your business as being successful, tell me, why are you working 80 hours a week?
Good question.
And they would look at me like, okay, well, you're right. So we would talk about delegation, we'd talk about their staff, and all of those things that, you know, go into the mix and the formula for a great business. And when I started my own company 8 years ago, 2010, soon to be 9 years, it was taking those skills that I saw firsthand from those franchisees and saying, you know what? I can leave the corporate life and I can take those skills and do my own thing in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So that's what I did. It was a big leap.
Huge leap.
Loved it.
Guts. Had to take guts.
Yes. And a couple of years into it, I decided to use speaking as a strategy to attract clients. And that worked out really well because I would speak in front of business owners. Loved, you know, again, today we're speaking about business owners. So tune in and, you know, through those years, worked with a lot of clients to help them be better business owners.
Right.
Right?
I've seen Lauren in action, and she's absolutely a passionate speaker. You can tell when you're listening to a speaker and they really believe what they're talking about and they're passionate about it, not just phenomenally knowledgeable, but Lauren is the whole package. She's fantastic and lots of knowledge behind what she's teaching. So I've got a question for you. You stayed the course in your business for over 8, almost 9 years now, helping business owners with their time and their money. How do you, I'm sure you try to help them stay focused, but how do you stay so focused?
So, great question, because my focus is feeding off of my business, if you will, and helping the clients. Because what I'm doing is working and helping those clients, it's easy for me to stay focused and not move into other areas that really, quite frankly, would be a distraction for me and or interruption and kind of mess with my business model. So I've got to also walk the walk and talk the talk because if I'm not doing that, then it's, that would be really not right. So, like they would see right through that.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
Do you have any examples of that?
Of staying, I think on a productivity basis, I'm one of those where I'm very time focused. If you work with me, we're starting on time, we're ending on time. I'm going to confirm our appointments. I hate chronic reschedulers.
Right.
Because time is so important. And, we say, time is our most valuable asset. And we say it, but sometimes people don't believe it or live it, right? So I do a way of living. My way of living is I'm going to respect your time. I'm going to honor your time. And likely, if you have an appointment with me or I have an appointment with you, I'm going to be there on time or early, and I'm going to be prepared.
Lauren is one of those people that walks the walk and talks the talk, because I know when I've wanted to touch base with her or call her, she is disciplined. Betty, I only have 10 minutes for this right now. What do we need to accomplish? What do we need to accomplish? And it's like, whoa. So she teaches people, by the way she operates and lives, how to be more productive. I mean, you do that.
Right. And I do that
wonderful.
with business owners, because that really is helping them to get really clear about their business. And the more clarity they have around their business, the more successful they're going to be.
That's right.
So one of my key questions is, what is the outcome that you want? So either for a meeting, for the day, for the hour. And when you keep asking yourself that question, eventually you're training your brain to say, okay, what's the outcome that I want? I want to run a better business. I want to have an awesome meeting. I want to get that engagement. I want to get that contract signed. I mean, there's so much that we can train our brain to do if we do it. But oftentimes we just sleepwalk through life and like, oh, I got to go to this appointment. Oh, I got to go do this. And we do it, but we don't do it intentionally.
Exactly. And we can train our brains, right?
Absolutely.
So I got another question. What is the number one issue you have found that business owners have to work with? Now, what's the number one issue out there?
The number one issue that I hear over and over and over again is, yeah, Lauren, I know I got people problems and I know I need to deal with that and whatever, but I just cannot find the time. I'm so busy in my business, doing my business, I don't have time to deal with the problems. And I talk to them about, okay, well, here's what's going to happen. That problem is going to happen over and over and over again until you deal with it.
Right.
So you may have, so time is all about substitution. It's saying, so instead of doing what you thought you were going to do, it could be a task in the morning. If you've got a people issue or problem, you need to deal with it, and you may need to take that task you were going to do in the morning. You may need to do that at night, at home, whatever, if it's portable to be able to do that, so that you can deal with that people problem, if you will.
Right.
And so it's that finding, and I put air quotes about finding, it's really a substitution of time of what's important to that business.
Right. I think in one of your books or one of the other things I've listened to you, and you used an example of Kathy, I believe, as an example of this.
Yes. And for Kathy, she had a situation where she had she was an excellent professional service provider, right? And I won't name the profession, but what she did was she was complaining to me. She hired me as a business strategist consultant to work with her. She kept telling me about the turnover she had in her staff over and over and over again. And she was really frustrated by that because she was passionate about being the professional that she was. Her clients loved her, but the staff that she had around her just was not on top of things. So rather than saying, well, it's all about your people, we looked at both angles. One is, okay, Kathy, we're going to look at you as a leader and what you're doing with those people to build the team. And we're going to look at those people as well. Well, what we found was really weak job descriptions. We found there was sketchy, limited, what I call employee meetings, development meetings, and/or feedback meetings.
Okay.
So there were some things that she needed to do as a leader. But in her mind, though, it was not her problem. It was, the people that were coming in. And I was like, well, in a gentle way. That's my style, right?
In a diplomatic, gentle way.
Yeah. And
that light bulb went off, I bet.
Right. And just say, okay, we're going to tackle it both ways. And we did. And we improved the processes with people in our business. And it made a difference. Retention, skyrocketed, and turnover, so we kind of took care of that frustration and that chaos in our business.
I love that. That's an excellent example of helping them with the clarity that they need to help their key business issues and direction that they want to go. What is the starting point when you start working with somebody? What's the starting point that they can expect? How do you do that?
So the starting point is we have I call it the strategy session, pretty basic. And I call myself a business strategist, and that's really just a fancy name for saying, hey, I'm coming in, I'm working partner side by side with you on that business. I'm not a coach per se. I probably more as a consultant. But the key thing is I care about you and your business passionately, and I care about what you want to get from your business. So the better that I can pull that out of you, so you tell me exactly what you're looking for in your business, then we can go work on it. If you can't verbalize that to me, and then it's going to be hard.
It's not going to work.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. Or, it's easy as a business owner to say, oh yeah, I got all these problems in my business. And it's easy to blame others around in the business. Well, the products or the pricing. But to me, that's the challenge of being able to say, okay, let's figure this out. And I'm going to help you.
You truly partner with them.
I partner with them. But here's the deal. So let's say you and I sat down and we were talking about your business, and you laid out 10 problems to me of like, yeah, well, this is bad, this is, and all these different things, right? I'm going to say, okay, Betty, we're going to take on one or two, and we're going to focus on those one or two. We're going to fix those one or two and get, I call it the plate spinning. It's a Laurenism. Okay. Get that plate spinning so it's like going right and it's not wobbling, it's not going to fall off. It's like on, it's right. And then we're going to take on the next two, because you and I cannot take on 10 all at once and do it well. And sometimes that's what, as business owners, we try to do because our business is chaos.
It's like objectives or New Year's resolutions. You have 10 or 20 of them there. Whoa, you're not going to get anything done. No. So you zero in to the top 2 or 3 that are really going to make a huge difference in a short period of time.
Right. And
I love that.
Going to drive the business.
You keep it rocking.
Drive the business, right.
Yeah. So how do you, when you're first starting up, how do you get how do you get business owners to open up to you about their challenges, especially if they're fairly new in meeting you? How do you get them to open up and really, really give them a comfort level?
So the key word for me is trust. And so whatever I do or how I conduct myself back to them, I've got it every step of the way. I'm totally focused on building the trust with that individual. If I wobble off of that, or I don't do what I say I'm going to do, or I don't get back to them in a timely fashion, all of that just begins to erode trust, and they may or may not hire me, if you will. Once they hire me, they know that I'm there with trust, I'm there with competence, and I'm truly in their corner. They feel the love. I'm going to give them the love,
right.
and really make sure that they know that we're going to work on their goals.
Love that. Love that. You have a mantra that I've heard you talk about, and it's be intentional with time, do less, and live more. Live more. I love that mantra. How did you come up with this, and why is it so important for all of us to embrace?
So I came up with that over, it's been years. And you know how you have different mantras through the years of, I had once reset, re-energize, I had different, you had 3 words. And, ultimately you get down to the things that you keep hearing over and over and over. And so I thought if I had a mantra that, is like, okay, be intentional with time, because it really truly is an asset you can't get back, right? And be intentional means that you go to the right meetings, or what you believe at the time, or you make the right decisions, or you spend the right time with the right clients, if you will, or you kind of you know what the clock means to you, and you really consider it as being your time
I love that.
On a day-to-day basis. Do less. And we're going to talk a little bit more about do less. But do less for me is we are so overwhelmed of doing so many things. I mean, how many times do you run into somebody like, hey, how are you? Oh, I'm so busy. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? I hate those 2 words, I'm so busy, or 3 words. It's like, we're all busy. And so, but we have to intentionally figure, how can I do less? Meaning, and not do less to get less done, but do less to get the same amount done and then ultimately that leads you to live more. Because, are you working 80 hours a week, or can you still do your business in 40 hours a week and feel better, and then have that hobby or hang out with the people that you love and build
things that make the difference.
Absolutely.
Right. It's amazing to me, especially after the new year now, where people will say, boy, time's just flying. I mean, how many times do you hear that? Time is just flying by. Time's just, I don't have, time's flying by. And when you really think about it, how much do you remember what you did yesterday or the day before? And then when you really think about it, you say, what did I truly accomplish? Oh my gosh, yesterday. What did I really accomplish yesterday or the day before? And time is, you're right, it's so precious. It's such a precious gift we have, but we don't manage it well and we don't appreciate it.
Right. So if in fact you acknowledge time and your intention about it on a day-to-day basis, and then you couple it in with, I've got 2 favorite kind of, one's a question, one's a statement, and that is, what's my outcome? Mm-hmm. So what's my outcome for our interaction right now today with you? Obviously, we want a great podcast, and we want to interact well. We want to serve our listeners. The other question, or the other comment is, what matters most right now? And that what that does is that forces us to really be present and not be thinking about, what I'm going to do at 3 o'clock today, because really it doesn't matter right now. What matters right now is I'm interacting with Betty, right now. And I don't need to be thinking about the person that, offended me yesterday, right? It doesn't matter right now. Right now is, I'm here. So like as a business owner, you walk into your business, what matters is your staff is sitting there. Do you acknowledge them? Do you say hello? Hey, what are you working on today? Do you show enthusiasm? Do you show, do you demonstrate and walk your vision, right? Or do you just kind of walk into the office, go into your office, close the door, and they're like, oh boy, Dragon Lady is here.
Yeah, and that sets the tone for everybody.
Exactly.
So you haven't really used that to the optimal advantage.
So you walk in. What matters most right now, and what's my outcome? I'm walking in, want to say hi to the staff, but I may say, hey, I've got a lot on my calendar today. I'm going to close the door. You're probably not going to see me for a couple of hours. I'm going to be head down. They're like, okay, no big deal. See you later, Lauren.
Yeah.
But if I don't say that.
Yeah, I got you. So that's being intentional with time. Now you mentioned, tell us more now about how to do less.
So how to do less is, it goes back to intentionality of saying, and again, we don't really think about this. How many emails did you send out yesterday? We don't think about it. We just send them out. Okay. Did we spend some extra time on each email so that we anticipated the person that we were sending it to? Did I answer all the questions? Or am I going to do an email volley back and forth? And now we have 6 emails going back and forth, where if I really had put 2 more minutes onto it, I could have just sent 1 rather than 6. So there's 2 elements. This one is sheer volume in terms of doing less. Like how do I How do I make a meeting more effective? How do I maybe have even less clients who buy more from me, and I can really love on those clients more rather than trying to have lots and lots of clients, right? So again, figuring that out. And then the other part of it is, and this is really the powerful time aspect, is when is the best time for me to be doing a particular task? So for me, Lauren, and a lot of people I talk to, if I need to do a spreadsheet, create a report, whatever, I'm best in the morning.
Yep.
My ideal time is 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., but that's just me.
Yep.
I don't, you can do whatever the heck you want, right?
Yep.
But if somebody asks me to do that report from 3 to 5, it is going to take me likely twice as long to do it at that time than if I did it. So intentionally, if I have to do that, let me do it from 6 to 8 because I can knock it out in half an hour.
You know your rhythms. You know when
I'm
you're
fresh.
most productive, and you're knocking it out of the park efficiently, effectively,
Right.
because you know yourself.
So we have to look at our tasks and say, when can we best do them to spend the least amount of time, but do it right? And we're not trying to take shortcuts. We're just doing it what serves us.
I love it. Makes total sense.
So doing less is two things. One, just the sheer volume of your emails, your meetings, your all that good stuff, how many clients. And then the second is truly when's the best time for you to do it and do it well and efficiently.
Love it. You got to know yourself too. Okay, so tell me, out of these years that you've been so hard at this and you've been so successful at this, what's your largest success story?
My largest success story, I love this one, a guy by the name of Tracy. He was in the home services business, and this is a guy that I started with him probably, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, and I worked with him for 2 years. And he was a home services contractor. And he had guys in trucks that would go to the homes and do their little trick and serve the homeowners. And he kept complaining to me. He was like, I have one person, and it's just a revolving door. I want to be more of a leader and have a team of people rather than just this revolving door of 1 or 2 people. And the work that he did was up in the attic, so it was really hot, and he was getting older, and he had been doing it for 25 years. Ooh. So I said, you know what? We've got to beef up your leadership skills. We've got to beef up how you create a team and how you interview and get going with that. So at the end, he had 8 guys, 8 trucks. Obviously, there was a lot of investment along the way to make that happen. And at age 65, he was able to sell his business to one of those individuals.
That's great.
That continued the business on. But I will tell you why I look at that as a success, Betty, was that he was thinking it was a people problem. But the people problem was him.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Right.
And but in a, it's like, it was skills. It wasn't he wasn't a bad guy. It was just like, we need to put a fresh set of eyes and perspective on your business.
That's so important. We can all relate to that. That can be a success story for everybody on this call.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've worked with franchise owners, you've worked with larger companies, you've worked with smaller companies. What do you see as the challenges, for our last question today, what do you see as the challenges business owners are going to be getting right? I mean, we're going to be looking right at it for the next few years. What are they?
For the next few years, I think we probably can all acknowledge we're going to have some economic challenges of getting our business out there, getting people to spend money to, pay for our services and products. And I think there's 2 things. One is for a business owner to look hard at their business model. Look at their products. Do they need to prune? Do they need to add? What types of clients are they serving? Are they the right clients? Are they in the right markets? That's all business model stuff. And by the way, I love working with clients on business model. Fun to, dissect it and make some shifts and changes. The second truly is what we were talking about earlier, was just truly focus, of being able to stay focused in the business. And, again, I work with a lot of business owners who are, 20 years in the business, 25, and, sometimes you get just tired of your business.
It's true.
And so it's like, what do you need to do to rejuvenate that business model? Because if you've been in it 20 years, you likely are going to want to sell that business.
That's right.
And you don't want to sell a tired, broken down, boring, staff unmotivated business. And that's what I love to help clients
I
do.
love that. Okay, so tell me about your books.
Oh, okay.
You've got a couple books and an event that I want to hear about also. So tell me about your first book.
So my first book, I love this book. This book is a book that it's my third book, and I wrote it at 6 a.m. and I'm already behind. Strategies to get caught up in a crazy busy world. And whenever anybody looks at that book, they always laugh at the title and they're like, that's me. So what I did was I put together some strategies that were just real world of, they're not really time management techniques. It's really how do you shift your thinking? Because that's what needs to happen is you have to shift your thinking about how you look at time. And so this book is really fun, and it's a quick read. It's easy. There's examples, not hard to do.
Okay. So
when you write a book, then it's like, okay, well, when's your next book coming out? So thought. And so this one, 6 a.m., was really about productivity. So I thought, okay, now I got to write a profitability book. What's the title? So I thought, and I was like, well, when business owners are thinking about profits, when does that happen? It's either when the financial statement arrives on their desk or it's 3 a.m. Right? So okay, maybe. How about it's 3 a.m. and I'm awake? And so that book is soon to be out, and I've got the cover designed. And so here's a guy with his head on the pillow, dollar signs are floating around. And so we think about money. We wake up at 3 a.m. and think about our business. And actually, what I need to inject in there is some light bulbs around those dollar signs as well, because sometimes we wake up thinking of ideas so it's not all bad when we wake up at 3 a.m. Sometimes it's good as well.
Love it.
So it's a great book from that standpoint. And then last year I did a fair amount of workshops, public workshops, where I invited people.
I went to a couple. Yes, tell me about them.
So this one is called Overcome the Overwhelm. And I will be doing it again in the Dallas area. I also did this in a virtual fashion, but it's really to bring in business owners to say, okay, we're going to split it up. We're going to do 2 sessions. One's going to be on time in terms of how you deal with time productivity, and the other one is going to be about money, totally about money and profitability and how you think about it. Because when you get to the financial statement is just the scorecard. And in both of those topics, time and money, you absolutely have to think about your mindset and your belief system and limiting beliefs that's holding you back, and figure it out and change and make some adjustments and tweaks. It can happen. I've seen a lot of business owners do it. I've worked with them to make it happen. So
I love that. I've been to a couple of Lauren's workshops and events, and they're fantastic. They're fun, they're interactive, they're practical. And I think the thing that I love the most is that when I walk out that door, I've got some actual takeaways that come with me, and I can implement them right away. And of course, I'm thinking Lauren all the time, but I do. I've learned an awful lot from your workshops and your boot camps and what you do. So thank you so much. And I really, really, really want to stress that take her words to heart, because she speaks from the heart. She's authentic. She's the real deal. She knows what she's talking about, and she's phenomenal to work with. So if our audience wants to contact you, what is the best way for them to find out more about you and contact you?
So my website is laurenmidgley.com, LaurenMidgley.com. For if you're interested in my 6 a.m. book right now, I created a website that's really easy. It's called it's6ambook.com.
Okay,
So you can,
all one word.
All one word.
6ambook.com. Gotcha.
And with that, you get an autographed, personally signed for me book and hardcover, which is kind of nice to put on your shelf and refer back to.
How about email?
Email Lauren@laurenmidgley.com. Kind of keeping it easy there.
Great. And a phone number
817,
for all of us that's like to call it. Start again for me.
817-965-4244.
Beautiful. Okay, say that one more time.
817-965-4244.
Okay. And as I always ask my guests, Lauren, if you have some words of wisdom for us, what are they? What do you want us to take away from this podcast today? What are they? What's your last words of wisdom?
So I have 4 Laurenisms first, and then I will give you some last words. So 4 Laurenisms are really, as for the business owners, really to think about your business. Number 1, you have shaped your business in the way that you want it to be, or how it is right now. you also have the ability to reshape it in the way you want it for the future. The choice and decision is up to you. Second is people problems do not go away. So you can, I'm going to save somebody, I'm going to keep them forever, but in fact, ultimately, you're going to be making the decision with that person. Third is really truly evaluating your business model. Is it serving you, or where do you need to do some tweaks, prune products, add products, that type of thing. And the fourth one is, and I love it's kind of a quote, but it's like, don't cling to a mistake just because you spent a lot of time making it.
Ooh, that's good.
So in the end, I guess my final words would be that, relentlessly stay focused on, what you're looking for the outcome to be. And the way to do that is just do it one thing at a time.
Beautiful. Beautiful job. It's been so much fun having you here today. Thank you.
Let's high five again. High five.
Thank you. And thank you for being with us today. Remember, it's all about you. Power up. Power up to be better, to be faster, to be stronger. Thanks for joining us. I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you. Ciao.
Thanks for listening to Power Up with NSA North Texas. To find out more about today's guest or NSA North Texas, visit www.speaker.org. To find out more about Power Up, visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/groups/NSA North Texas. And to find out more about Betty, visit www.bettycoffeepresents.com.